Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we prepare for the second race of the season for Division 1 of the NNSCRA Skittles Super Speedway Series. We finished up qualifying here yesterday. Now we're ready to go racing at Armory Digital Super Speedway for 29 laps. Coming off the heels of a bit of a wreckfest weekend at the Daytona International Speedway, these drivers have now got one race under their belts and will begin their journey towards finding out who's going to be the 8 representatives to represent in the chase for the championship for Division 1, the 8 drivers that will represent for the chase for the championship in Division 2. We'll see the Division 2 drivers tomorrow night. Ashlin Boyd lines up on the pole position after an unbelievable last-minute qualifying lap in round 2 to start on the pole position alongside of the Snickers Chevrolet of Seth Cole. Ryan Butcher, JT Bryant, and Zachary Taylor will make up your top 5 this evening. And also we should mention too, in terms of Ashlin Boyd riding a pretty good wave of momentum right now, left Daytona with a 7th place finish, as consequence comes into this race 7th in the point standing. So trying to continue to build with good consistent runs is the driver, the number 54 Toyota. One thing that we might possibly see during the course of this race that we didn't see at all during last week's Daytona weekend, and that is the potentiality of green flag pit stops, because it was relatively calm in both of our division qualifying sessions here yesterday, and we know that if they couldn't make it 30 laps at a 2.5 mile superspeedway at Daytona without coming to pit road for fuel, there's no way they're going to make 29 laps at a 2.6 mile superspeedway without having to come to pit road before the conclusion of this event. So we may see green flag pit stops for the first time this season, and it might take place here tonight at the Armory Digital Super Speedway. Time to get these cars rolling. Let's go down trackside and let's get those most famous words in motorsports to fire up these 40 engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
As the command is given, you can take a look down in the description for the official starting lineup for this race, and also for the first time this season, we do not have any backup cars in our starting lineup. Everybody was relatively courteous, if you will, in our 2 rounds of qualifying for Division 1, and as consequence, they will all be starting in the primary cars they brought here to Armory Digital. Let's give you your top 10 in the point standings coming into tonight's race, presented by Blame Shelley Insurance. Obviously, with his win last week at Daytona, Brady Burkhart is the points leader. Trent Dunham currently sits in 2nd, Shane Lake in 3rd, Vance Caldwell 4th, Laurent Lemount in 5th. It's basically whoever finished in the top 10 last week at Daytona, they're in the top 10 in points, as the rest of the top 10 is Sebastian Cucalon, Ashlin Boyd, Preston Plourd, Jessica Shelton, and Diego Yepez. Winning your in situation as far as our playoffs are concerned, Brady Burkhart with the win now needs to keep himself as high as he can in the point standings. Obviously, multiple wins give you a greater opportunity of being locked into the chase for the championship, but the odds are not really early on the season in favor of a multiple-time winner, because we got 40 cars in the field, so you have a 1 in 40 chance of being able to go to victory lane each time the green flag drops. The odds are not exactly what you would call favorable odds by any stretch of the imagination. If we do have green flag pit stops today, pit road could definitely play a huge factor in the outcome of this race, namely the pit road entrance. You see them entering into turn 4 here, and down to their left is the entry to pit road. Maybe one of the most difficult pit road entries to get onto. You saw the pace car had a little bit of difficulty there, so we'll see what these drivers will have to deal with here tonight at Armory, as Ashlin Boyd's Toyota, Seth Cole's Chevrolet will lead us down, and for the second time this season, we're ready to go racing in Division 1 of the Skittles Super Speedway Series, entering into the restart zone, waiting on the flagman, green flags in the air, let's roll! Already 3 wide. Look at Zachary Taylor with a big run. Taylor started 5th. He's going to exit turn number 2 as the race leader. A great start there for the number 85 John Deere Chevrolet Camaro. And it's John Deere power on the bottom because Zack Winkle's Ford also there. Saw there that they were lined up pretty well on that outside line. Ashlin Boyd, Seth Cole, JT Bryant, so they held court at least down the back straightaway. Now the inside gets the advantage off of turn 4. Question is, which John Deere car is going to lead the first lap? Looks like it will indeed be Taylor, as they are 4 wide further back there towards the rear of the field. Jonathan Zoerlein, second fastest in round 1 of qualifying. He's now making his way towards the front there, that Lowe's Chevy Camaro. Patrick Zych at 0-4 right behind him. And Zoerlein now on the inside is going to try and take the top position. It's kind of ironic that I'm recording races at Armory here for the Skittles Super Speedway Series. I'll be taking to the track myself here tonight, as Net Zero is going to have their online race there, and they're leading on each other back there. That was Eli Bright, Jessica Shelton rubbing doors, and that was in the middle grooves. Very dangerous territory. There was almost very little daylight between. I think that was Preston Plourd, and couldn't tell who the other car was. It might have been Ryan Butcher in the 76, as Zoerlein's going to lead this lap. They're still 4 wide back there. Now they settle it out to 3 wide. Tristan Fowlkes thought about going 4 wide, and he saw right there as they entered in the center of turns 1 and 2, that little area where it looks like a dip. That's exactly what it is. It's a dip, and it can definitely cause the car to bottom out and cause the car to not handle so well in the center of the corner. So it's maybe one of the trickiest areas on the racetrack in terms of the racing surface. We've already documented the struggles these drivers may have with pit road entry, as Jonny Gardner out in front, the Crystal Pepsi Chevrolet. Jose Millz now moves into second place. Gardner coming into this race 35th in the points. Jose Millz 34th, so there's a couple of drivers that struggled at Daytona. Would love to use Armory as a race to kind of combat those poor performances. And now Jose Millz going to go to the inside. He's going to take the race lead. Looks like he might clear Gardner off of 2. Ooh, I can't tell. Yeah, I think he's got him cleared now. No, maybe not. Gardner might still be to his right rear. Everyone's still up in this lead pack, but they are 4 wide, several rows deep, and they are almost 5 wide back there. Jump back to William Duncan in the 17. He's in the middle of all that with Austin LaPlante. They were 5 wide. You see JJ Roberts and Ryan Butcher. They are not giving each other much room in the middle line. This is not a very good place to be, I would say, in the pack. They are 4 wide, 2 rows deep here. And then they're 3 by 3 the rest of the way. Whoa! Laurent Lemount and Seth Cole close, and this is right here where I'm a little afraid when they go 4 wide. JT Bryant might have gone up and gotten the wall there in the 22, as they're 4 wide further towards the front of the field. They were. Shane Lake decided to back out of it. Now William Duncan's going to make it 4 wide going into 3. Lake, Cucalon, Winkle, and Boyd all in that 4 wide. Now they're 4 wide behind them. 2 rows deep, 4 wide again. Up here just inside the top 10. Kyle Matthews down on the bottom of that. As up towards the front, Jay Jefferson and Joshua Ciculli working together. And William Duncan's been making some bold moves, but it's gotten him up inside the top 5 now. He's looking for 4th on Ciculli. Jose Millz, I don't know if he's enjoying the view behind him. It might be making him just as nervous as it's making me, as now Kyle Matthews moves up into the top 10. Trent Dunham second in points after a runner-up finish last week to Ryan Butcher at Daytona. He's now cracked the top 10 as well, that bright blue Sega Chevrolet. 3 wide for the second position. That 17 has been really strong, moved his way from the back towards the front. Duncan qualifying in this race in the 28th position, and in a matter of 6 laps he's worked his way up to second, and that's after being in a couple of 4 wide situations. Now setting his sights on the 6 of Jose Millz. Kyle Matthews now challenged from Roger Ray rather. Matthews started 37th in this race, so he's done a good job working his way towards the front. And the same can be said for Shane Lake there in the 55, who right now unofficially crossed the line last time by in 9th. I think he's now up to around the 8th position. But he started this race back in the 36th position, and now he's up in the top 10. Put him 4 wide back there even further. That's 2, 3 rows possibly of 4 wide. How they've been able to keep it together, I'm not really certain, but they're putting on a heck of a show for the fans, no doubt about that. Lead change. William Duncan got around Jose Millz. He actually did it before the start-finish line that last lap, so now the DeWalt tools Ford out of Flying Aces International leading the way. Here comes Roger Ray, the 68, trying to take that spot out of JJ Motorsports. He's got a teammate right there as well, Jay Jefferson, the 28. So an opportunity for some teammates to work together. Actually, they've got another teammate not too far back, that yellow and gold Hertz number 38 of Riley Spurlytube. So got 3 teammates up here that can maybe all work together and get themselves to the front of the field. Kyle Matthews now firmly in control of second for the moment as we complete the 8th lap of this race on to lap 9. Somehow, some way, we have not had a caution. And we're also going to be able to use this race as a template for tomorrow night's Division 2 race in terms of knowing what the fuel window is for these drivers. Because like I said, the very likelihood that they were not able to make it 30 laps at a 2.5-mile superspeedway last week, the odds aren't in favor of them making 29 laps at a track that's even longer at 2.6 miles here tonight without having to come to pit road at some point before the checkered flag. I think the latest we saw drivers hit pit road last week at Daytona's weekend was lap 15, the halfway point. But I'm not really certain if they can make it further than that or not. We're going to have to wait and see. Single filed at the front of the field. Well, it was for a moment. Duncan, Matthews, Ray, Jefferson, Millz, and Patrick Zych. But now Zych is under fire from Shane Lake. Roger Ray trying to take second from Kyle Matthews. He's got Jose Millz in tow. And how about the lone dodge in this division? Eli Bright, he's now worked his way up into the top 10 following the tire tracks of JT Bryant, who was in the wall a few laps ago off turn 2. I thought he might end up losing some momentum, losing speed, lose the draft. Nope, he's back up here in the top 10. Matter of fact, a lot of the young motorsports cars have been fast this week. JT Bryant qualified 4th for this race. He had Dylan Young qualify in the top 10 for tomorrow night's Division 2 race. So there's been good speed out of the blue ovals this weekend. Shane Lake, 3rd in the point standings right now with where he's running. Don't see Trent Dunham up here towards the front, and I have yet to see Brady Burkhart make an appearance towards the front of the field. So right now with where Shane's running, I think he would currently sit in the points lead position heading into next week's race, next week's weekend that is, which would be at Pigs Creek, another track where they can fit them 4 and 5 wide. Speaking of 5 wide, they almost looked like they were 5 wide in the middle of the pack back there. Carter Friesen almost, yeah, I think he has 2 tires down there on the double blue line. Trying to make his way towards the front. We got some new players up here. The 18 of Philip Goldberg, the 16 of Vance Caldwell, 88 of Austin LaPlante, and the 69 of Diego Yepez. Yepez 10th in the points coming into this race. LaPlante 19th. Philip Goldberg 12th, so some drivers that are doing pretty well in the points. Now up here towards the front of the field, LaPlante's got a big run there. Now cracking the top 5 and now trying to get by Shane Lake for second. Carter Friesen down there in no man's land. Nobody helping that lone Toyota in this division out of easy for me to say, Otter Island Motorsports. Wow. Now Cody Smart's going to forge an inside line though, as he's going to go 4 wide and move into the 4th position. Cody Smart 15th in points coming into this race. Now I just want to do a quick scan here towards the back of the pack and see if indeed all 40 drivers that took the green are still in this lead pack. And there's your answer. Seth Cole, Laurent Lemount, they're running in 39th and 40th, but you can clearly see they are still in the draft, still with the pack. Cole, who started on the outside of the front row, now riding at the back of the pack. Laurent Lemount actually qualified 6th, and he's back here as well. William Duncan looking good right now, and that number 17, he's yet to give up the lead since taking it away from Jose Millz. William Duncan, another driver coming into this race that needs a good run. William Duncan did not have a great performance last week at Daytona. Finds himself coming into this race in the... Oh, wait, no, actually, he had a pretty decent run. He was 13th. My bad. I thought I was seeing him down at the bottom, but I was seeing another name. It's now Carter Friesen. Now, there's a driver that definitely needs a good run. This one I know for certain, because Friesen comes into this race 39th in the point stands. That's next to last. And look at the emergence of the Toyotas now. You got Goldberg, Friesen, Haas, and Butcher all up here inside the top 10. Also, the pole sitter Ashlin Boyd and Patrick Zych there. They're starting to make their way back towards the front as we just had a lead change. Philip Goldberg to the race lead. The number 18 Skittles Toyota in the Skittles Super Speedway Series, leading the race here at Armory. We've just crossed lap 15, so now the fuel window is open for when these drivers want to hit pit road. They'd be able to make it the rest of the way, and I think some of them are coming to pit lane right now. Matt Haas is peeling off along with Riley Spurlytube. A few more further back, Ryan Butcher was one. Ashlin Boyd, Tristan Fowlkes, Sebastian Cucalon, Shelton, Miller, Miles, and Cole all coming to pit road this lap. The green flag pit stops begin. Lead change. William Duncan going to take the top spot back from Philip Goldberg. So the first group have come to pit road. Now we're going to be seeing drivers for the next 2 or 3 laps dive onto pit lane, and it may come down to which pack is going to have more cars and produce more speed as to who's going to win this race. Right at the midway point, looks like Duncan is not... Yes, he is. He is coming in, as is Goldberg and Friesen. Look at that transition from the banking down to the flat of the apron. As Smart's in, Lake, Bright, Zych, Taylor, Gardner, Ray, Millz, Caldwell, Qualls. I saw Brady Burkhart. See a number of drivers still staying out there. Jay Jefferson's in, Ciculli, Zoerlein, Roberts. That turned the lead over, I believe, to Austin LaPlante. That's the group right there that just came to pit road back on lap 15. There's LaPlante and Bryant. They are the top 2, and now they're going to hit pit road. Diego Yepez is in. Trent Dunham. Joshua Lee. Looks like Preston Plourd stays out another lap, as does Laurent Lemount and Derek Hamill. Jake Rogers is in. Zack Winkle. Wow, excuse me. Jack Mitchell and Kyle Matthews all hitting the pit lane this lap. So that leaves us, I believe, only 3 drivers that are yet to pit. As you see drivers leaving pit lane. And these are the 3 that are still yet to come to pit road. And I think, are these guys out of fuel? They seem to back off just a bit there. Laurent Lemount, his speed is decreasing. I think he might be out of fuel. I think he'll make it to pit road, but just barely. But he lost a little bit of ground there as Preston Plourd, Derek Hamill, and Laurent Lemount, they will be the final ones to hit pit road. So the question is, who does the lead cycle around to after this? Looking at LaPlante here, this might be the battle for the race lead, and I think it's about to change hands. I think Matt Haas and Riley Spurlytube are going to go around LaPlante, and I think that's going to put the 8 out in front, at least for the moment, depending on what happens with those other 3 drivers that were just on pit road. If Matt Haas bypasses them, I believe Matt Haas is going to cycle around as the race leader with help from Riley Spurlytube. Let's see if they score him in the 4th position. They actually score him in 3rd, so yes, it will be cycling around to the Toyota of Matt Haas as the race leader. Yep, he's already bypassed Preston Plourd and Derek Hamill, who both were on pit road. And you can see how the field is really broken up here. So it's going to come down to drivers bunching up into packs and trying to run each other down here, as we will be hitting the line with 10 laps to go once Matt Haas makes his way back around to the start-finish line. Toyota's already got a win here in Division 1 with Brady Burkhart last week at Daytona. Matt Haas trying to make it 2 for 2 with a win here tonight at Armory Digital. So as he crosses the line, you can see on the top left as the ticker begins the cycle of who is where after the green flag pit stops. Let's go through the field as best we can here. As Matt Haas leads, Riley Spurlytube is second. Ryan Butcher now third, going by Austin LaPlante, who's back to fourth. Fifth place is Philip Goldberg, William Duncan in sixth. Seventh place will be Sebastian Cucalon. Eighth place is Tristan Fowlkes. Ninth is Shane Lake. 10th, Carter Friesen. 11th is Diego Yepez. 12th will be Patrick Zych. 13th, Jessica Shelton. 14th, JT Bryant. 15th, Andrew Miller. 16th is under contest here, Cody Smart and Vance Caldwell, as 18th is Trent Dunham. 19th, Eli Bright, and completing your top 20 right now is Joshua Lee. Preston Plourd in 21st, Roger Ray 22nd, Jack Mitchell 23rd, 24th, the pole sitter Ashlin Boyd, 25th, Benjamin Millz, 26th, Jonny Gardner, Derek Hamill in 27th. 28th is Jake Rogers, 29th, James Qualls, 30th, Kyle Matthews. Jose Millz back in 31st, 32nd is Zachary Taylor. 33rd, Zack Winkle. 34th is Brady Burkhart. Not a good performance for him after his Daytona win. 35th is Laurent Lemount. 36th, Joshua Ciculli. 37th, Seth Cole. 38th is J.J. Roberts. As we got a car that blew up there, that's Andrew Miller. 39th place is going to be Jay Jefferson, as Miller is idle on the apron. And 40th right now is Jonathan Zoerlein, as Miller and the 47, who was running 15th at the time, has blown up. There is no caution, and we've got a battle for the lead. Tough break there for Andrew Miller, who came into this race 31st in points. Not the performance that team was looking for, as he blows up with about 8 laps to go. And no caution waving, as he was able to get out of the way of everyone else. It's also looking like it's not going to be a good points day for Jonathan Zoerlein, running now 39th, but losing the pack, and that's another driver that was struggling in the point standings, coming into this race dead last. Top 5, single file, Ryan Butcher out in front now with LaPlante, Spurlytube, Haas, and Goldberg. Your top 5, William Duncan trying to catch this top 5, trying to keep with them. Then you got this pack back here led by Patrick Zych. There's about 10, 11 cars in this group, and they might be able to produce enough speed to catch up to the lead pack. But I have a feeling they may be the only ones. It's a long ways back to a third pack being led by Benjamin Miles. I don't know if they've got enough time to get up there or not. It's going to be a total of 6 laps to go when they hit the stripe this next time by. Now Patrick Zych is leading this group. The last time by, they were 2.7 seconds behind the lead pack. Let's see if that's closed up at all when they cross the line. Gap now between the first and second pack actually increased by 0.2. So they actually are not gaining ground on this pack of 5. Look at these 5 drivers in this pack. Highest one in the point standings of all of them would be the 18 of Philip Goldberg. He is 12th in points. LaPlante is 19th in points, Spurlytube 20th. Ryan Butcher is 26th. Butcher is 27th, and Matt Haas is 25th. Single file for these top 5. That's allowing them to keep the distance between themselves and that second pack. They actually kept the distance the same, roughly about 2.9 seconds, maybe a little bit closer to 3 full seconds. So even though there are more cars in this pack, they are not producing nearly as much speed as the top 5 are with them running single file. The double wide and 3 wide that they're doing, the side drafting is more pulling this pack back away from the top 5 than it is helping them catch up. And having to get around William Duncan, who had no draft and was obviously slower as a single car to a pack. That's going to also slow up their progress as well. across the line now, and they are a full 3 seconds back. So unless these drivers up here really race it up, there's not really going to be much opportunity for anyone outside the top 5 to have a shot at this win. Also, with only there being 5 cars up in this pack, it's also going to make it difficult to make alliances. We've got, multiple drivers up in a pack. You've got 3, 4 different options of drivers that might be willing to go with you. Now, you look at it here, you got 3 Toyotas and 2 Chevrolets. So is it going to be the Camaros versus the Camrys? Or, how's this going to work out? If you make a move, you're going to have someone go with you. There you see Matt Haas making a move on Austin LaPlante. Let's see if he can make the pass for second by himself. He might get a little bit of help from the car ahead. Ryan Butcher going down and offering a little bit of draft. But I'm not really sure. Yeah, he is going to clear him. Nice pass. There you can see off in the distance that second pack, but that pack continues lap after lap to lose ground to the top 5. So I think we can safely say you are looking at your eventual race winner right there in this shot. Question is, who is it going to be? Will it be Butcher, Haas, Spurlytube, LaPlante, or Goldberg? And we, for the first time this season, have seen how green flag pit stops definitely shuffle up the field. And while we have this battle up here only amongst 5 drivers for the race win, there is a heck of a battle going on back in that group from 6th on back. Look at them 3 wide. Cucalon and Shelton and Zych. Eli Bright, Shane Lake all in this group. They all still want to finish in the top 10. Right now the position they're battling for is 6th place. Meanwhile, up towards the front, Matt Haas taking a look to the inside on Ryan Butcher. He'll draw even, but will he be able to clear by the time they get to turn number 1? LaPlante's now going to try and go for 3rd on Spurlytube as the white flag will be displayed this time. Who's got the drafting help going into turn 1? LaPlante's down there with Haas. Spurlytube is up with Butcher. Here comes LaPlante. 3 wide for the lead going into turns 1 and 2. Can he clear him is the question. Butcher's going to have the drafting partner with Spurlytube up top. Can LaPlante clear Haas? He's got him cleared. They're going to take this battle into 3 and 4. And now Butcher clears. He cleared LaPlante with help from Spurlytube up top. LaPlante's going to have one more shot at him out of turn number 4, but if he makes the move, will anyone go low with him? Now he's losing some ground off of 4. Butcher pulls away by a car length and a half. Butcher's got it in hand, and Ryan Butcher will get his first win of the season here tonight at Armory Digital Superspeedway. LaPlante gave it a heck of a try, but Butcher had Riley Spurlytube and Philip Goldberg up top with him on the back straightaway, allowed him to keep the lead, cleared LaPlante into 3, and then LaPlante, I don't know if LaPlante was trying to back up his corner to try and get a run out of 4, but he might have lifted a little too much and was never able to get back to the bumper of the 76. And for the second straight week in Division 1, a Toyota Camry has gone to victory lane. Butcher, who came into this race 27th in the points, is definitely going to take a huge jump in the standings, and now joins Brady Burkhart as a potential candidate for Division 1's playoff contenders. Standings should be official now, and indeed they are. Austin LaPlante, so close to getting that win. He gave it a heck of a try. He'll have to settle for 2nd, though. Matt Haas going to bring it home in 3rd. It's a good run for Matt Haas. He definitely needed that. 25th in points coming to this race. Riley Spurlytube, he's going to bring it home in 4th. And completing your top 5 is going to be Philip Goldberg. So this will move him into the top 10 in points. How about Sebastian Cucalon? We didn't talk a lot about him today. He's going to finish 6th. He was the leader of that big pack. And Cucalon came into this race 6th in points. It's going to be a good points day for him. I don't know, maybe he might be able to take the points lead. We'll have to see, as Eli Bright will finish in 7th, Shelton in 8th, Caldwell 9th, and Patrick Zych will complete your top 10. A lot of Toyotas with good runs here tonight. Butcher, Haas, Goldberg, and Patrick Zych. Then William Duncan finishes 11th, JT Bryant in 12th, Shane Lake 13th, Carter Freeze in 14th, Cody Smart 15th, and the rest of your top 20 were Yepez, Fowlkes, Millz, Ray, and pole sitter Ashlin Boyd. Look on down through the remainder of the finishing results here. And some drivers that came into this race running well in the point standings, not going to leave with a good performance today. Preston Plourd, who came in top 10 in points, he finished in the 26th position. Laurent Lemount came into this race 5th. He's going to finish 32nd. And Brady Burkhart, after winning last week at Daytona, going to finish in the 34th position. So he's going to take a drop in the point standings for sure. Seth Cole starting the outside of the front row, 37th. And the only car who finished out of the race was Andrew Miller after we saw that engine problem he had on the back straightaway. And if he had not finished out of the race, looks like Jonathan Zoerlein would have finished dead last for the second straight week. 2 starts, a 40th and a 39th for the driver of the 48. That team really needs to kick it into high gear next week at Pigs Creek. But that's going to do it here this evening from Armory for race number 2 of Division 1 of the Skittles Super Speedway Series. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results, and these are your point standings heading into next week's race at the Pigs Creek Super Speedway. Tomorrow night, we've got Division 2 here at Armory Digital Super Speedway. We'll see how the drivers will do there, and we may end up, if this is a template to go by, we'll probably see green flag pit stops may be the deciding factor in the outcome of that race as well. Just going to have to wait and see. Till then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching production of NNSCRA Offline Racing as Best. Ryan Butcher takes the checkered flag here tonight at Armory.